everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. I have been trying to post more consistently now, and I am going to continue to post as consistently as I can as long as the kids behave and I'm able to push content out. I miss being here more present with you all, so thanks for sticking around, and hopefully you'll start to get more content from me. Today I'm talking all about Sibo. I want this video to be as quick and concise as possible. I have made a very long version of this video a year or two ago talking about everything you need to do for Sibo. This video specifically going to be sharing with you the 5 most important supplements or things to do to help support your Sibo and get results like sooner rather than later. So things you can do right now. Or supplements you can take. So of course, check with your practitioner before doing any of these, and remember that the guidelines that I'm giving you here on YouTube are very generalized, and there might need to be some tweaks made for you as an individual, as everyone is different. Before I start, just to quickly explain what Sibo is and exactly the biggest trigger of it. I want to educate you on this in case you're not fully aware before we go through the supplements, because the supplements will make more sense why I've chosen what I've chosen if you know this information. So very quickly, Sibo is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which just means that the bacteria that is in our large intestine has made its way up to the small intestine and is now fermenting all the food and everything that's in there, creating gas. And this gas is what's causing your bloating and the discomfort. Now, the majority of our probiotics, most of them, including bad bacteria, should be in our large intestine. We have all the bacteria there, all the probiotics there to help pull out food, to help make B vitamins and all that good stuff in the large intestine. They pull out water from our stool, and they're keeping everything healthy. Our small intestine shouldn't really have any bacteria, and if it does, it should be very minimal. And so when Sibo is occurring, it's bacteria that has made its way upwards in the body towards the small intestine where it shouldn't be. So why does this happen? The biggest trigger, or something that almost everybody will experience if they have Sibo, is poor vagal motor outflow. So very quickly, the vagus nerve is a nerve that connects the gut and the brain together. It's what you will experience, this gut-brain connection you will experience if you are, say, giving a public speech and you're feeling nervous and you start to get nauseous. That is your brain, the anxiety in the brain, signaling that vagus nerve, and it's affecting your digestion negatively. So our vagus nerve has a lot of benefits. It's one of the most important nerves in the body for many reasons. If you are, walking into a restaurant and you are smelling the beautiful food aromas, this smelling of the food signals your brain that there's food and that you're about to eat. And then your brain, via that vagus nerve, will signal your digestive system to start secreting enzymes and start getting that peristalsis, that downward motion happening, so that you can enjoy your meal and have all the, digestive juices ready to go. So this vagus nerve is very important. The problem is that with chronic stress, dysbiosis, eating too quickly, eating in the wrong setting, certain medications, all of these damage our vagus nerve. And when we have chronic inflammation in our digestive system, this inflammation is damaging the nerve and it's affecting our brain. It's also why a lot of times, and a lot of the symptoms of dysbiosis or candida overgrowth is anxiety and depression, because this inflammation that you're getting in the gut is affecting the brain via that vagus nerve. So there is a downward motion of our body called peristalsis. This downward motion is literally our colon that's pinching, and it's moving everything down. It moves our food down, our bacteria down, everything downwards, okay? When your vagus nerve is not firing properly, when there's poor vagal motor outflow, you're not having this peristalsis or downward motion. So everything can come up and there's nothing to push it down. So bacteria in the large intestine can come up to the small. You could notice that you might be hiccuping or burping or having acid reflux. This is everything coming up, and this is telling you that you need to improve your peristalsis by improving your vagal tone to push everything down where it should be going. So with Sibo, the biggest thing is to fix your vagus nerve while also doing antifungals to clear candida and all that stuff. So I'll go through the 5 most important things, but also some extra tips as well on what you should be doing to clear your Sibo fast but efficiently. The other thing that I really want to stress here is that you cannot clear Sibo overnight or within a week. It takes time. And the reason is because the bacteria that is present is surrounded by biofilms. I've talked in depth about what biofilms are in my other videos, but essentially it's a coating around the bacteria that protects it from things like antifungals or antibiotics and that kind of stuff. So if you have recurring infections like recurring candida, recurring Sibo, recurring UTIs, this is telling you that these biofilms are present. So whenever you're targeting Sibo or any type of dysbiosis, you need to be targeting biofilms as well. And that means that you need to be on a regime for several months for it to be effective. So I'm going to run through everything now. The number one thing, it's not a supplement, it's a thing that you should be doing, is getting yourself a TENS machine. These are very affordable. I have one or two, maybe even more videos on this channel about transcutaneous vagal nerve stimulation. If you want to know how to do this, what it entails, all that good stuff, head to that video on this channel. Also on my membership platform, holisticspring.org, I have a ton of good info there. I also have a step-by-step guide on there that you can download to do this effectively every single day or a few times a week to improve the vagal tone and get that peristalsis happening. So number one is a TENS unit. Really, really important to have. In the past, these were actually harder to get your hands on, but now they're everywhere. They're easy to buy. So you can actually recommend it now to almost everyone, and you should be able to find it. The second thing that I highly suggest is acetylcholine. You cannot fix your vagal motor outflow without acetylcholine. You need this substance, this supplement, to help rebuild up your vagal nerve and improve the peristalsis of the intestinal system. So a lot of times people will do vagal nerve stimulation using a TENS unit and they don't get any changes at all. And that is because there's not enough acetylcholine present in the gut. So you need to supplement. So I will link supplements down below, but really, really important. Supplement number two is a good antifungal. I have a couple that I use, and I will alternate depending on the person, the client, depending on whether or not I think there's more parasites or more fungus or more bacteria. So it really depends on the individual. This is where I say work with a practitioner to do this effectively. But one of my favorite go-to antifungals that I will use at some point in my clients' protocols is black walnut. This is the Genestra black walnut combination number one. This is one of my favorite antifungals to take. It is antiparasitic, antifungal, and antibacterial. It also helps to improve your enzyme production because it's so bitter. So when I take this, I take it with meals, but I do it technically right before a meal. And you'll swish it in a little bit of water in your mouth for about 60 seconds. And this will stimulate gastric juices and enzymes to be produced and released because of this bitter taste. So when you have Sibo, usually you should be on some kind of digestive bitters. But if you are using this one as an antifungal, it's like two supplements in one because you'll get the bitters component plus the antifungal component. So I really like this supplement. So TENS unit, acetylcholine, an antifungal, and or bitters. And then the next thing is that you want to have liver support. So you cannot improve or try to cleanse from pathogens without supporting the liver. I can't stress this enough. Otherwise, as the pathogens die off, they release toxins, which will redeposit back into your cells in your body if they cannot be excreted via the liver and kidneys. So you have to have liver and kidney support. I've talked about this extensively on this channel. If you want good liver and kidney drainage, which can only be done with homeopathic drainage remedies, then you can head to holisticspring.org. I have that linked in the description box below, and you can get my biotherapeutic drainage protocol, which is for liver and kidney drainage. It's an 8-week protocol that you can do alongside your antifungal or your candida cleanse to get good drainage of that system. But if you can't access homeopathics and you want to do something for your liver, you could always just do a liver supplement. This will not drain. I want to stress that enough. You cannot drain with an herb or anything like that, but it will support your liver's ability to detoxify. It just won't drain. So you're not going to get the same effects, but it's better than nothing. So I really like the LVDTX. I usually use this with my clients alongside homeopathic drainage. But again, it still is a great supplement to take from Douglas Labs to give your liver some kind of love and it does have some choline in it, which is great to have that liver support and vagal support. So LVDTX is a good liver supplement to take. You also could try Live Complex from Genestra. So I will link everything down below. You guys can tweak this, to work for yourselves, but that's what I suggest. Okay, so number 5, what should we be taking? So number 5, or 5th supplement, in my opinion, is technically 2. So the first one is a binder. You want to be on some sort of binder to help with the toxins that you're going to be dumping out of the system, preventing them from reattaching to the cells. So chlorella or charcoal could be used. I'm a fan of chlorella personally, so I will link my favorite one down below. And you want to do this every single day. And the 5.5, or technically 6th, or bonus supplement perhaps, would be some sort of a soothing supplement. So I really like L-glutamine. L-glutamine is really anti-inflammatory for the intestinal system, which means it can help when there's a lot of inflammation, you can't improve that vagal tone. So when you're on L-glutamine or some sort of anti-inflammatory for the colon, it helps your vagus nerve function better, and it can improve the peristalsis. So that's the summary. There's a lot more that you would want to do for Sibo, but the starting point would be doing vagal nerve stimulation in the beginning every day, and then you can start doing a few times a week, and then eventually once a week, and then from there maybe a couple times a month for maintenance. But TENS unit is the number 1. Number 2 is acetylcholine supplement for Sibo. Number 3 is an antifungal and or digestive bitters. Number 4 is a liver support. Number 5 would be L-glutamine, and also some kind of binder like chlorella or chlorophyll or charcoal. Now, something else that I want to stress, which I think everyone should be on for the most part, depending on the person, but I'm going to list it here, is also enzymes. When you have Sibo, everything that you're eating is going to be fermented in the small intestine by these bacteria, and they will cause gas and bloating. So in order to keep the food in the intestinal system for as short as possible, I suggest enzymes. This is the enzyme schedule I suggest, but again, it's based on the individual, so please check with your practitioner before following this schedule or taking the supplements. If you have an underactive stomach, which most of the time there is that, I suggest taking hydrochloric acid. So first you would want to do ox bile. Bile is obviously not vegan, but it is produced by our bodies, and we need it to help us emulsify fats and carbs and keep the digestive system the right pH to prevent overgrowth. So you do need bile. I like Bilex from Douglas Labs. I will link it down below. I suggest taking bile 20 minutes before you eat. Then what you want to do is take digestive enzymes. So I will link my favorite one down below as well. Enzymes will just dump more enzymes into the system to help you break down your food better. So enzymes you can take 10 minutes before you eat. Then at the time of your meal, you want to swish the bitters in your mouth before swallowing, and then also take your hydrochloric acid. The dosages will depend on the person, so either follow bottle dosage or work with a practitioner. But by doing this, you should feel an almost immediate overnight change in your digestion and in your gas and bloating. It helps incredibly well to do this. You might not need the enzymes, the bitter, the bile, and the hydrochloric acid if your digestive system isn't that out of balance, but many people do need all of this at the start, and then they can start to taper it off. So that's the schedule I personally used to follow, and I have my clients follow, and I would suggest you follow if you feel that you need this kind of support, digestive support. So that will help you. And then the other thing that you want to do, which is not supplements, is don't eat fiber and really cut back on starch and carbs. Your majority of your diet should be protein, and then lots of vegetables, but the vegetables should be always steamed, pureed in a smoothie, roasted, and sauteed so that they're broken down and not raw, as raw foods can really irritate Sibo. So you want everything you're eating to be soft and very, very easy for your body to break down. And healthy fats as well are important. So proteins, healthy fats, and vegetables, but just easy to digest, broken down, soft type of food. So broths and smoothies or smoothie bowls, things like that are great. And I think that's honestly pretty much it. The last thing I would say to try to do would be to relax at mealtime. So if you're having your food in half an hour, start deep breathing, start relaxing, and then when you sit down to have your meal, have phones and everything else off the table and just focus on your food. Take a bite, put your fork down, chew that bite 20 to 30 times at least, and then swallow, and then go for the next bite. And this will really help to improve that stomach function and digestive function over time, and improve that downward motion or that peristalsis. And by doing these things, you will see a great improvement in your Sibo. Sometimes if the biofilms are pretty resistant and you're not able to clear Sibo with natural supplements, you may need antibiotics, So if you are that person who needs antibiotics, make sure that you're still supplementing with plenty of probiotics before, during, and after, and do lots of liver support to get those antibiotics out of the system. But there are sometimes a need for antibiotics if you're so overgrown with pathogens and if these pathogens are all protected by biofilms. But when you're on the antibiotics, you should also be on biofilm disruptors. If you have any more questions about biofilm disruptors, about Sibo, or any of this topic that we're discussing today, please head to the membership platform holisticspring.org. You can ask me any questions there. You get in-depth answers from me. It's much more personable, and you also get to join in on two live monthly calls. There's so much resources already and a lot more info already there on Sibo. So head over there if you want to be more educated on this topic, but this is just a very quick summary, and I hope that you enjoy and get some good information to take away from this. I will link everything down below, and if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.